For centuries, Western culture has been permeated by the idea. Oh, wait, by the way, this is a quote. This is a live reading of, I believe, Rutger Bregman's article, The Real Lord of the Flies, What Happened When Six Boys Were Shipwrecked for 15 Months, submitted on Saturday 9th, the 9th, May 2020. All right, that was like almost a year ago. All right, so we got here, when a group of schoolboys were marooned on an island in 1965, it turned out very differently from William Golding's bestseller, writes Rutger Bregman. Right, so the key idea here is that there's an original story that was fiction, right? There's an original fiction story, and then on the other side is that there's a true story of six boys who got stuck on an island. Clear?
Clear.
Okay. All right. Okay. Reading this here. For centuries, Western culture has been permeated by the idea that humans are selfish creatures. That cynical image of humanity has been proclaimed in films and novels, history books, and scientific research. But in the last 20 years, something extraordinary has happened. Scientists from all over the world have switched to a more hopeful view of mankind. This development is still so young that researchers in different fields often don't even know about each other. So the summary is inside of the video, and you saw some parts of it, but like I just wanted to share the key idea. And the key idea in the end is that, you know, this guy, he was the leader, right? And everything was somewhat successful in the beginning, but other things were not, right? And after some time, a British naval officer came ashore. The island's a smoldering wasteland, and 3 of the children are dead. All right. And then the British officer, he says, I should have thought that a pack of British boys would have been able to put up a better show than that. At this, Ralph burst into tears. Ralph wept for the end of innocence, we read, and for the darkness of man's heart. All right. And it's something that shows that people are negative and cynical and selfish, right? And that's the view of this guy, William Golding, right? That's his view, right? And his view there is that, you know, his view is he was a Nazi sympathizer, right? He was a Nazi sympathizer who said, I understand the Nazis, right? And this part's in the video as well. And like, it's so crazy, right? He says, I have always understood the Nazis, Golding confessed, because I am of that sort by nature, right? And like, it was partly out of that self-knowledge that he wrote The Lord of the Flies, the book, right? And so the key point that I wanted to share with you that I think you saw was this guy's negative view was very, 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 very widely spread, right? But in reality, the real story is actually way more positive, right? Like, you covered the real story with Kyle, yes?
No, not yet.
No, you didn't cover the real story with Kyle. Okay, all right. So, all right. So the real story here is that 6 kids were at a Catholic school. Catholic school in Tonga, all right? And Tonga is this island in the Pacific, I believe, right? It's like kind of like Hawaii on this side, okay? All right. And what happened is that they ran away. They ran away from this school. They stole a boat, and then they fell asleep in a storm, and they got trapped on this island.
Okay.
And they survived for 15 months, right? 15 months on this island. And they kept a fire going for 15 months without fail, right? And then finally, some Australian ship captain saw the fire and saved them, right? Some of the key things inside of their success story is that they made a pact, right? A promise to never fight, to never quarrel, right? And then they also had a system of timeout, right? A system of timeout where, you know, if somebody's upset or someone is having a problem, then they have to go take some time and chill out, right? Go somewhere and be sabai, you know, and then come back, right? So it was a good system, you know. There were lots of things that happened. I mean, one detail that I really like sharing was one day this guy, he broke his leg, right? He broke his leg, and then his friends, right? All of his friends, they said, what did they say? They said, don't worry, we'll do all of your work while you lie there like the king. So, that's their style. That was their style while they were on the island. I'm like, cool, right? That's the way that I would be. And like the thing I'll share with you is that I asked a lot of people about this, right? Do you think that if you were stuck on an island with your friends, um, and you guys are like 13, 14, 15, 16 years old, right? Do you think that you would all survive and everything would be good? Or do you think that you would have lots of problems and it would end badly, And most people say poorly, or and start laughing, right? They say, like this, or sometimes their face looks like this. And I can see that they're looking and thinking about the bad things, right?
Yes.
For people like Kyle and like a couple of other my students, the logic here is that if I'm stuck on an island with my friends and family, I have to make it work, right? I have to make it successful because I don't want anybody to die, right? Like I don't want there to be any problems, right?
Yes.
I want it to be a success story, right? And so that's it's easy to answer that question. Of course, successful, right? And I just think it's funny because it shows a lot of why this story is so widely spread, the fake story, right? The fictional story, right? And then on the other side, the real story was actually pretty hard to find, right? If you read the article, it was a little bit difficult to find, right? The guy who did the research, he put a lot of work into the research, right? Like you can see it from reading the article, So that was the thing that I wanted to share with you about this. It's pretty interesting, And the end takeaway point is this. End of the story.
Yep.
The king asks the captain, like, hey, I want to talk to you and I want to say thank you for rescuing my people, right? Because he's the king of Congo. And
Hello ครับครับ
ครับผมก็จะดูนะครับผม
ครับว่าไงครับ
ครับจะสอบถามครับเส้นที่ลูกค้าแจ้งครับตอนนี้ใช้งานเป็นไงบ้างครับ
อ๋อปัญหาคืออินเทอร์เน็ตมันชอบหลุดบ่อยๆอะครับเวลาทำงานนะครับ
ก็คือเวลาทำงานนะครับ
ครับแต่ว่ามันหลุดคือผมเข้าใจว่าตัวเราเตอร์ยังต่ออินเทอร์เน็ตอยู่นะครับแต่ว่าพวกคอมพิวเตอร์หรือว่ามือถือที่ต่ออินเทอร์เน็ตนะครับมันจะ